Hey friends, welcome back to Affiliate Retirement. So I know what you're thinking. What in the world are we looking at here? What kind of slice of life is failure delivering today? Well, this is just another example of failing at retirement. So 2020, shortly before the pandemic hits us all, guys just kind of, I don't know, looking for a little extra to do. I don't know, honestly. Like one of the things that happened when I kind of quit having to worry about the daily bread and butter, so to speak, is it just give a guy's mind just a little bit more time. Some would argue maybe too much time to be creative. And now failure's never known for being an artsy guy. I mean, let's be honest, it's not a thing. But sitting around one winter day thinking about it and actually driving to the mountains and driving past the sign all the time. And then later that winter, the guy's thinking he should make some hats. Like, why not go ahead and get in the apparel game? Like, you're retired. What else you got to do? You might as well be in the apparel game. And some of it went back to the nut company hats. Like, my nut company hats are very popular, and people always asking me for one, and everybody always really liked them. So when I said, you know what, I think I'm going to jump in the apparel game and design me a line of hats, uh, everybody was like, okay, cool. Like, let's see. And like, I don't make these; I have them made. It's just my design. So, and then of course, I picked the perfect time to start. Right? You can't get nothing. The people that did my nut company hats, like I tried to get hats from them, and they just like I'd pick out colors, and then they would tell me, yeah, one out of the 10 colors you picked out's available. So I pick out 10 more, and they say, nope, try again. And then I tell them, well, let's just order them, and if they come in, they come in. If they don't, they don't. And they said, don't work like that. And I said, well, why don't you tell me what colors you have stock of, and let's start there. Well, no, it didn't work like that either. So guy found a different supplier, and this guy, um, he carried some of these Richardson hats, like I usually historically always got, but then he had his own line of hats too that he had made and imported. And the way I found him is I had one of these hats in my hat drawer, and I needed a different hat for something one day, and I grabbed it, and I'm wearing it all day. And toward the end of the day, I literally forgot it was even there. And I looked and saw the brand and called the guy up, and he said, yeah, he had some hats in stock. And I said, well, can you tell me what colors you have available? And, I'd like some. And so he had these brown ones here in stock, and I ordered some of them. And he had these green and gold ones in stock, which honestly are not a fan favorite, but I don't mind them at all. And to me, it kind of reminded me of the, Forest Service colors. And then as he was making those up, he says, hey, I had, I don't know, a certain amount left over from a job of these camo American flag ones. And, it's not old failure's favorite mix, but boy, the kids love these. I'll tell you that right now. I, of course, love the American flag on the back, but how that goes with the camo is, yeah, it's a little sketchy to me. But I'll tell you what, to a 10-year-old kid, they eat that up. So then, I get this first bunch made up, and that goes really well. And I was working on a second design, and so we come up with this other design, and it takes a long time to kind of get that design done for some reason. I don't know. I'm not too good on the computer art, and that guy said, "Oh, I can whip that up in a hurry," but it took a couple months. But just to kind of skip ahead a little bit, while he's working on that, he says, I have a bunch of these orange and black hats, and I got a lot of them, and they're pretty popular, and I don't know if you can do anything with them. And I said, give me a couple days to think about that. It's not a color I would normally go to. And then it hit me, you folks, if you watch my brother-in-law's big deck video, you've heard me talk about safety third, kind of a thing with me and my friends. And so I thought, like, it's orange and black, that's the perfect color for safety third. If you're going to be that far out on the edge, why would you center that up? You'd put it on the side. That was kind of the style for right that moment anyways, to have your logo on the side. So that's how the safety third hat was born. And then eventually, this guy finishes up this Marina logo, but while he's working on it, he calls me up and he's like, "We got to ask you, like, we don't have any trademark issue or anything with this Marina deal, do we?" And I said, "Yeah, well, funny thing is, there actually isn't a Marina." And he says, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, there's no Marina." I said, "I sometimes kind of wish there was a Marina, but there isn't." And he's like, "So let me see if I understand you right now. You're asking me to make a hat to advertise a business that doesn't exist." And I said, "Yeah, that's how I roll. It's just kind of an inside joke." And he's like, "You know what? I love that. I'll get these hats made up, get them out to you right away." So that's how we end up with the Marina hats. And, stuff just continued to get harder and harder to get. The last of these Marina hats, they took 6-8 months probably from the time I started the project till I actually got them. So a guy just hasn't had more hats made in a year or so, a little over a year probably. And, I didn't do it to get crazy retirement money. You know what I mean? I did it just for the enjoyment of seeing people wearing my hats around locally, and just to see, how the whole thing would turn out. And very happy with it. Very comfortable hats. I wear them myself pretty regular. And, before anybody asks, like, this is not a shameless marketing plug here. In fact, just the opposite. Like, if you know me personally, well, you kind of already know that I have these hats, and you know how to get a hold of me if you want one. I don't have any intention of selling them on here, because then I got to ship them, and that becomes a whole job in and of itself that I'm just not looking to do. I mean, I've failed at retirement quite a bit, but I try not to actually buy myself an actual job. Like, I mean, I'm against working. I mean, I do too much of it already. So I just wanted to show you that this is just another thing where a guy just, without too much forethought, just basically starts this whole other business just for something to do, not really caring if it ever amounts to anything or if I end up with 200 hats in my closet. The guy just don't really care how it turns out. And sometimes when you start a business, sometimes that's kind of the attitude you need to have. And honestly, I'm stretching it just a little bit when I call it a business, but anyway, so that's the apparel game. That's old failure. Took one more slip on the slippery slope to failing at retirement. So if you have any questions, drop a comment. If you want a hat, please don't comment. Please like the video if you like the hats. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can continue to get a slice of failure's life and see what failing at retirement actually looks like. So subscribe, like, have a nice day. Thank you for watching Failure at Retirement.